You are listening to the No Invite podcast.
Season 3.
The progression.
Follow us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast or look us up on YouTube at No Invite Podcast.
The best kept secret.
All right, bang, we're back. No Invite Podcast, Season 3, The Progression, Episode 62. Got your partner Blaze in the building right now. We got a very special guest. We got two very special guests. I want to make sure that they introduce themselves, so we're going to start off with you.
Steven from Dope Flavors LLC.
Dope Flavors in the building.
What's happening?
What's happening? And then we got
OBB Half from the motherfucking building.
Yeah, I'm talking about, y'all already know. No Invite Podcast alumni. And of course, we got Steve right now. He's, what do you call it? He's first time on the podcast. So,
First time.
we getting, it's not like we don't know him on the, you know what I'm saying? But first time on the podcast was good because, nowadays, you gotta get out there and you gotta tap in with who's out there really doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's basically what we do at the podcast. We like to keep this platform, we like to keep it open for everything. Like, it's called No Invite, but it's, the name might be a little misleading. It just really means it's like an open door policy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you fuck with me and we know each other and you know what I do, at any time, if you need a platform, or if not even just need a platform, you want to come and spread the word about what you're doing, you want to just come and have a conversation with your folks, the door's open.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You just got to work with my schedule because, your boy got to do what he got to do.
Yeah, we busy. We all busy, man. I appreciate it, bro. That's what's up. Opening up a platform to other people, especially, your loved ones, your family, your friends, people in the area, people in your section. That's what's up, bro. I respect it.
Definitely. We definitely got to do that. I got tired of... what's it called? I got tired of getting shunned by platforms.
Tired of begging for a
go.
platform's acceptance.
Exactly, and it's like,
Tired-
and we all
tired of
know
being-
it's money, it's a popularity game and
Yeah,
shit
for
like
sure.
that. So I could be the angry motherfucker and been like, fuck all that and fuck this or fuck this platform, or I could be like, you know what, it's time to build a platform.
Yep,
because that's the age we're living in now. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We build our own shit now, and the people come to you.
Yep. To echo off that too. I mean, I can name it probably like a couple people I know in like the industry who's done that themselves. I want to say Boosie, Lil Boosie, shout out to him. He created his own like little production company, little media group, just because he kept getting shunned
It's all
because
alcohol
of
line. It's all, you know what I mean? The same thing with 40 motherfuckers just, you know what I mean? They say,
Exactly.
you know what? I'm tired of asking for help from people that really don't want to help me.
Yeah.
I'm tired of making it seem like I'm begging when really I just want to learn. You know what I mean? I just want the game. I want to learn how to do it so I can go do it my damn self. You know what I mean?
I don't really want to be bothering y'all. I
Yeah.
would like to do it on my own, but I know I got to learn it somewhere. So, yeah, and that's the thing. And people, nowadays you can see everything that people do is progress is online. So when you see a platform coming up and you see them start doing what they're supposed to be doing, then you're inspired. Then you're like, okay, see, look, I remember when this guy was just so many followers, so many views, so many this. Same thing with entrepreneurs and people that you know and you grew up with. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing them reaching those other heights and other levels, and you're like, Joe, that inspires you. That lets you know. And just another reminder that instead of complaining, it's out there for you. You just got to find a way in. And once you find your way in there, you win.
If you really want something, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? If that's what you really want in life, you know what I mean? You'll work up the energy to either make it happen or just watch it happen. You know what I mean?
It's one or the other. It's
you
a
either
choice.
gonna watch people do it or you gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Self-education is very important, bro.
Yeah.
That's how people advance, move forward, get out of the slumps that they're in, get the access, create the access that they don't got.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to learn something on your own without a motherfucker teaching you it. You gotta be willing.
And it's out there. We live in the age of information.
For sure. You can learn how to be a fucking rocket scientist on a fucking YouTube.
Exactly.
Get your sponge. We're gonna try to drop as much game as we can on this podcast, man. That's that's all that's what I'm about.
And that's the cool part about doing this is like whenever I do this and I bring people in that I know and people that are doing things, these are conversations we have off mic anyways. We talk about this stuff already. The key is to try to bring that natural conversation into the podcast environment. That way when people tune in, they feel like they're a part of the conversation. Because this shit pertains to everybody, bro. Whether
they feel like it's a conversation that they should listen to.
They should listen to.
They feel like if they do listen to it, there is something they're gonna walk away with. You know what I mean? Opposed to just sitting to listen. This is some bullshit for 40 minutes. an hour. You know what I mean? Back.
Well,
and
don't
forth.
get me wrong.
It can-
We're like,
yeah, for sure.
We got
it
at
won't
least
be
a
that,
good
but you gotta
25
make
minutes
it-
of bullshit.
You got, yeah, definitely. You gotta feel
Shoot
it. You gotta
the
make
shit.
the, you gotta make the time. You know what I mean? You gotta fill time in. So.
Yeah.
But the overall, you know what I mean? That's what it's really about, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to intrigue the audience. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that they're intrigued into the conversation. You got to pull them in. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to engulf them into whatever the conversation is.
You gotta be
and make them
inclusive.
feel- yeah,
you know,
for sure,
no matter
for
who
sure.
you are, where you from, there's something that you could relate to when it comes
So
to
that's why
conversation.
topics that were, you know what I mean? Right now, it's like
Yeah.
so relatable to anybody that's really trying to get gamed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People appreciate those conversations, bro.
Yeah, they do. Especially
Very rare.
I've had, you know what I mean, like
real
I've
shit.
learned countless shit just listening to podcasts myself.
Because how many of us really had OGs pull us to the side and really give us some game? Like on some
Not
real
many.
shit. We all
Some
had
real shit.
we all had some OGs, but how many of them really pulled us to the side and gave us some game?
Or anybody in general, and just
You know
when
what I
you're
mean?
like, you're like, yo,
I
like,
could say a few of them might have, but you can't be like, you know what I mean? Niggas just we just got gamed up by our OGs.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean we got game from our OGs, but we didn't get gamed up from our OGs.
yeah,
You know
we
what
was
I mean?
hard-headed
We
too. so
watched we watched what they did and we learned from, you know what I mean, mistakes, and you know what I mean? We made sure shit wasn't repeatable.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was like we didn't get game from them. We got the game from them. You feel me? So it was like we learned from the game. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily the game they was teaching and talking, because it's different to talk to someone and preach the game opposed to showing them the game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just observation.
That's hands-on shit opposed to keep making sure they ain't got to be hands-on with shit. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot to be a teacher too, bro. Like, you know,
For sure, it takes
so
patience.
definitely appreciate those people out there trying to give game and really just teach, you know, whether it's their peers or a younger generation, because it takes a lot to do that too. Like a lot of discipline and a lot of knowledge and, you know, setting your ego straight.
A
in
lot
order
of
to just
selflessness.
give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of
Exactly.
selflessness. A lot of that I don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is not going to hurt me to put you on. It's not going to hurt me to tell
Yeah.
you this. It's not going to affect me to say this to you.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to put me in a certain situation and let you know about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's about, like you said, letting go of your ego and as a person understanding that. Because let's also, we could also definitely say we've been in situations where you've sat there and tried to get some game from somebody, you know what I mean? And they would never really, you know, like show you shit or teach you shit. They'd give you like vague answers to stuff. It was like, you know, it's like I'm obviously here without asking. I'm chopping it up with you. I'm trying to learn about what you do. I'm not trying to be in your business, but you know, I've seen people like either whether it's ego involved or jealousy or whatever it is, like really just hesitate when it comes to passing down
Yep.
simple shit. Like
I mean, some of those people you learn in the long run that they didn't really have the game. They was game goofy all along. You know what I mean? And they
That could
just
be it. They just
look
look
good. They
The
just look
okey
good.
doke.
And then you know what I mean? They really couldn't give you the game because they didn't have it. You know what I mean? They didn't. They looked the part. You know what I mean? Like we know a lot of niggas growing up that looked the part, but you talk to them, it's like a fucking bag of nickels. And they ain't got nothing.
Gotta see through those charades, man.
Yeah. And it's very beneficial though, like the podcasting space right now. Like I said, it's a good way to bring forward new
You hear that
ideas.
on the mic?
Yeah.
You can hear, but I mean, it is what it is. Just don't put it up to the mic. You know, we got dabbers in the building, just
Yeah,
so you know.
yes, sir. I've been
So
dabbing
feel
a whole
free.
lot. I've been
If
dabbing
you-
a whole
if
lot
you-
more lately.
I
That's
If
for
you
heard
want
you
to
sure.
saying
dab
you
some
was,
shit, feel free.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you saying you was concentrate
Oh, yeah.
sampling and shit.
Yeah, for sure. All weekend, man. Just been dabbing diamonds, rosin, Percy rosin.
Nice
bro.
sauce.
See,
Yeah.
Nice sauce.
For the uneducated out there, that's concentrated. You know, that's concentrated THC or you know.
I need a new sauce plug.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of. We could go. I was trying to think of a slick fucking nickname for it, but yeah, sauce works.
Sauce.
Sauce. I just like terpenes. I like the flavor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm over the whole phase of it don't even get you high. Nigga, you smoke enough, you'll get high. I ain't worried about getting high because I know what will get me high. You feel me? I like to taste flavors. I love flavor. I like the taste. You know what I mean?
Yes,
We got
sir.
Dope
Dope
Flavors
flavors.
in
You
the
know what the
Dope
fuck I'm
flavors.
talking about.
He's talking about
I
them
like
dope
the
flavors,
flavors.
too.
I like flavors, bro. I don't care. I like when it hits my lung. Yeah, I like to cough. I like my lungs to kiss, but I need to know that my lungs is going. You know what I mean? I want to taste that on my palate. I want to know that taste is going to resonate for a few minutes. You know what I mean?
Those different terpenes will give you a different high too, bro. Like that.
sure, bro.
You could have all the THC content in the world, but if you ain't got no terps, you'll just get stupid blasted. But when you got those terps, you'll have the taste, You'll have the smell. You'll have the look, obviously, too. And then, bro, the high is different, too.
The way you affect it, you could tell because, like, you'll the way you're breathing, like you could still taste it, and it's like it's there, and the way your high is, it's kind of it's in tune. It's weird.
That's
we
exotic, bro.
We could have a whole podcast on
Just based on that. I mean, well, then, hey,
that's a whole nother day. We
might have to put that together.
Water.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's an appropriate topic, man. We got dope flavors in the building.
I like the fresh runs. I like the fresh runs. Straight from the ground, straight into the motherfucking.
Yep.
So
all parts of the plant.
The whole plant. Yeah. All we taking off is the water leaves. We slapping the whole plant.
Learning from our ancestors, man, and taking
real.
apart that whole plant and putting it right back into the earth.
Using it all too, not wasting one bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, well, how old were you when you first started smoking weed?
Shit, I probably hit my first joint at 11.
Yeah.
11-ish, 11 and some
Sounds
change.
about right.
Yeah, but actually having it was like 13. That's when I actually had like a bag, like some cool little stash. That's when I really started heavy into smoking weed.
That's when you were really. I think my first time I was around 11 years old too. And it's the same thing. You get it, somebody got it, or you buy the little bag off somebody, and you just ready for the high, and you know it's fun and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't really start smoking like that till probably like 15. 15. 11. What about you? How old were you when you first started smoking?
Fuck, I was a dope head by the time I was at 15. Shit. I was doped out by the time I was 15, smoking stupid rope.
Bro.
Stupid rope or dope.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I was young, nigga. You know that.
Hell yeah.
I was hella young. I was probably like 10, 11.
Man.
But shit, because if I was going to Hillview, 8th grade, 7th grade in LOP with fucking zips of Bammer in my drawers with orange peelings in it because niggas told me that it'd make the weed better, or go in there with lettuce in my sack of weed.
Because back then it was all Bammer was compressed.
It'd make it fluffier, it'd make it more moisture. It had that little, you know what I mean, citrus scent to it. So I'm over there with a zip of Bammer in my drawers, you know what I mean, all sacked up in 5 sacks, 10 sacks. I couldn't have been no older than 13.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think Pops was the one who told me about the orange peels. But Super Dave, bro, he's the one who put me on to the orange peels and the lettuce and the turkey bag. But nah, the orange peels was the one back.
Orange peel because it gave it a real nice smell.
The lettuce will turn your shit. The water start coming down.
Yes, it's funny, bro. Like all the old school thing, because like weed has obviously changed since we started smoking. There was always been like the hydro, and there's always been like, you know what I mean, the more potent brand, but the common back in the day, the common fucking weed was the compressed fucking brick weed from fucking Mexico. Yeah. You know, it was grown out there, flown out here, you know, or whatever, smuggled out here, however they brought it out here, and it was like, if you got it, bro, it was like having a fucking mason brick that you would fucking put in the wall and shit. You know what I'm saying?
If you from Pittsburgh, you was blessed and fortunate enough to live through the Uncle Bob era.
The Uncle Bob era, the forgotten
If you know
strands.
about that era, then you know.
That was before my time. But I heard all about it.
Oh man,
elder cousins.
Hey, I was listening to that A-Wax track where he was talking about blame Uncle B for my memory loss. I'm like, bro, niggas really don't know about that Uncle B.
Think about it like this, bro. I was a kid when I first looked at some weed. When I first seen some weed,
a lot of bro, like only two niggas I knew had Uncle Bob. 2 niggas, and they wanted like. This is back in like 99, 2000. They wanted $1.20 a quarter. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like no bullshit. This is back then.
Back then.
You know what I mean?
And they were getting it. And they were getting it. For sure. And you could tell it was an undeniable taste, bro. It's hard to describe to describe. It's kind of like earthy, kind of
all the time.
But it was just some killer though. Some killer shit.
I was getting a half zip of it fronted to me for $2.40.
Man, that's when the game was so good in Cali back then.
I don't remember how I was making anything off of it.
They had the feds because Cali went legal medicinally in '96. So that next 3 years, the feds started hitting Cali tough. You know what I mean? So that's why the price in weed, especially exotic or like, you know, hard to get weed was so up. Like 4,000, 5,000 a pound and shit. Bro,
they were really going in. I remember that too. I remember that, and they were really going in on that because they were mad. They were like, they're like, they're like, okay, y'all decided statewide, but you know, it's like, obviously they didn't get it cleared with the federal, so they were really on that shit. But it was strange. It was weird because it did make it fluctuate. And also, if you lived out here in this area, you were also very lucky to be around a lot of people that were growers.
Mm-hmm.
So you did, even though there was predominantly Bammer and the brick Mexican weed and shit like that, it was also a lot of private growers that had fucking.
That's why the Bay.
Killed.
That's why the Bay Area has been known for the indoor. You know what I mean? All the indoor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Up north, of course, they got
the outdoor and the fucking
outdoor
that sun grown shit.
You know what I mean? All the.
Shout out to Cali, period, man. We've
for
always
sure,
been
for
in the
sure.
forefront when it came to this weed shit. Even now, people from out here go out to other states and help them get their lines established and their genetics right and everything because
especially.
But all the genetics is coming from motherfuckers that started out here.
Yeah.
The genetics started out here. The exotics started out here.
Yeah.
Just pheno hunting, breeding, like dog, just like the
Yeah.
dog
The
game.
actual science and the art of it, like it's like like I'm sure everybody from all over knew how to grow weed, but it's like I feel like California mastered
to get it where it needs to go.
It became
So-
different when a motherfucker said, you know what, we gonna cross this bitch with this bitch, and we gonna get something different.
Yeah, they started getting
When
into the
motherfuckers
actual
started
breed.
crossing those, and they started coming up with all these different strains. That's when they was onto something.
They brought indicas, from like Turkey and Asia, and they just brought them up to Humboldt County and out here to Northern California, start experimenting on shit.
Started
and then
removing all the bullshit, started getting more and more, specific.
exotic strains since the 90s.
You know what I mean?
Since the
I'm
80s.
telling you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because, look, when I first started smoking weed, right, I'm not even before I first started smoking weed, but, right before, when I was, 8, 9 years old, I remember my brother, Isaac, he fucking had a garbage bag that he got from his grower, and it was all gold weed. Gold. Damn. And it was, I was young, but that shit fucking was stanky. It wasn't, stanky in a bad way, and you know how Bammer doesn't really have a strong smell like that, you know what I mean? He showed it to me, I didn't even believe. I thought weed was supposed to be green and shit, but all the forgotten strains, real skunk, that really smelled like fucking skunk and shit like that, shit, you know what I mean? It's a trip, man. The cannabis game is different, bro, now than ever before. How do you feel about it, though? Do you feel like it's still growing? Do you feel like it's, you know what I mean?
Shit, man, the legal game, the actual cannabis industry, it just went wreck in 2016. So they're still trying to work out the kinks, man.
Yeah,
and it's far from perfect, especially when it comes to social equity and having persons of color, into the industry and having a correct foothold into the industry. Because as soon as they opened up shop, whether it was from medicinal to recreational, you had white corporate cannabis just move in and try to just take
Try
as
to
much.
strong arm everybody.
Yeah, pretty much that, and take up all the properties, take up all the licenses, because local jurisdictions or local cities, they got a cap.
Over dominate
Yeah.
the council and the boards
Yeah.
that sit on the cities and the counties that overrule the fucking jurisdictions and all the fucking
Real political.
hand out the licensings
Yeah.
to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're limiting the licensings. They're looking at the fucking, you know what I mean? The race differences and everybody that's trying to. Same thing they do
they
with
just want the
homes,
dope.
bro. If you try to go and if you try to fucking whatchamacallit your house.
Yeah.
Try to get it appraised or anything.
I
You
just
try to
seen
take out a
something
loan
about
and
that.
shit. You know how they do it. They have a white person come in and act like they're the homeowner, and next thing you know, that all of a sudden the appraisals for fucking $300,000-$400,000 more.
Most
It's the
definitely.
same shit with the, you know what I mean? Because they
Same
want it to where they,
tactics for sure.
yeah, they want Uncle Sam to be able to control all avenues and aspects of the weed trade. You know what I mean?
And let's just face it, it's all around greed. You know what I mean? The
Just
people
like
that are
they
doing it,
controlled the fucking you know what I mean?
They know it's a whole new industry opening up. So where
Exactly.
they control the pharmaceutical game. You know what I mean? It's their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They control it. That's what they want.
It's
the
a whole
same
new
thing with
industry.
weed. You know what I mean? The same
Yeah.
thing with weed. That's what they want to do.
it's an industry, and right now
That's what they try to do.
the industry, when a new industry springs up like that, of course, where do you go for? You go for the structure, you go for the power, so that you could be installed into that, and you're like, eventually you'll be grandfathered into the whole shit, and that's what most people, the millionaires upon billionaires in industries, are the ones that are from the institutions that been there from the beginning.
Exactly. That's how they've been able to do it for hundreds and hundreds of years. But it takes, people like myself and others, coming from, first generation, or just, the first person of color to actually try to attempt to get a license, is we really need to make our foothold in there so we can leave the back door open for our people, behind us, so they can learn from us and lead by we lead by example, but they take, our victories and our losses, and then they can make something better.
Exactly, and to continue to just strengthen that equality as far as the equity, like you said, because you have to have some ownership in things, and you got to jump on it early, like because of that. This whole new wave, everything is going on. Eventually, it's going to change, and you're going to be locked out.
Yep,
just like
exactly.
anything else. It's going to switch up. If you ain't in it by the time that it's supposed to, the door will close. I'm not saying that you can't still probably crack it open here and there, but
It'll be definitely a whole lot harder.
it'll be way harder. It'll be way harder, and there'll be way more roadblocks because now you're outnumbered. Now, like you said, there's people on the board that don't look like you at all.
Yep.
Don't come from where you come from. Definitely don't understand, and just look at you as an
That's
obstacle.
the whole thing about the game, though. That's what a lot
made
of
that way.
That's a lot of, you know what I mean? People like yourself, Backpack Boys, Burner, is changing shit like that. You know what I mean? Changing the face and the image of what corporate America.
I feel like
media
if you
look
were
like.
locked up, you were persecuted in any kind of way, and you grew up because you smoked weed or you grew up in that environment, I feel like you should have first crack at all that because you were your generation was that expensive. Your generation, you did what I'm
I
saying?
went to jail for doobies before.
Yep.
Like
People
literally.
doing time for paraphernalia.
Bro,
you
I've
feel me?
literally went to jail to Juvenile Hall on the well, I was on probation too, but it's just bullshit. Like this shit was the littlest doobie, like probably even unsmokable.
And you were a kid.
And I was like 14, bro, and I went to the hall for
And
like
they
90 days,
put you,
bro.
and they incarcerated you instead of giving you treatment.
Like 90
For
days, and when I got out there, they didn't give me no treatment. They just gave me an ankle monitor.
You could have been back then. You were, even though you were a minor, that's still a form of self-medication, man.
Yeah.
And you were pretty much incarcerated for that.
Yeah.
That's what this specifically like a social equity program is for populations that were pretty much like marginalized and harmed because of marijuana prohibition. But it's like they're not gonna just hand it to you. They're not just gonna say, "Hey, it's over here." They keep that thing tucked.
You're gonna have to go out there.
That's just like that's America. I think that's just how America's
That's
built.
everything,
Period.
though, bro.
Because
They got- they- you know what I mean?
They don't want to
gonna-
let you know what the social.
They don't want to let you know what's available to you out here in this
Services.
country. Like
You got to work for it in a sense.
Nah,
you feel
you
me?
just really gotta do the research.
Yeah,
You gotta
That's what I'm
work for
saying.
that
The work.
shit, for
You got to
sure.
do the work.
Yeah.
See, and the thing is like this. It's like rich people help each other by telling each other tips to get rich. Rich
Exactly.
people don't tell broke people how to get
How to get
rich.
rich.
They don't like to
No.
do that.
They got strong generational and legacy networks, bro.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like one of the main things I've kind of been preaching is like, you know what, we opening doors for the future. You feel me? Because there ain't nobody, this is the time now. And it's like people that could do it, that are capable, just really need to step up and really just use, make that sacrifice and just make it for, for the incoming generation. Because who did it for us? We're
Exactly.
barely scratching up all the wisdom and the knowledge that we know, the resources that we could have, partnering up with, different people just so we could have some type of foothold. So yeah, it's definitely
There
a
ain't
big
no
sacrifice.
OGs really in this game. They're getting the OGs are starting to get established right now. Barely themselves. The people that have been doing it for 20, 25, 30 years are barely getting themselves established too because like you said, it just went wreck. And it's the same thing like how we grew up. We had OGs that were around and stuff like that and people that knew it, even if they weren't our OGs, but they didn't give us the game like that. We a lot of it we had to learn ourselves. The few people that did do it, we could all say it was pretty much priceless or it was super valuable what they gave us, So the same thing now, like you said, you're planting the flag right now, you're establishing the thing because it's for the not only yourself but the next generations and the generations that our kids are going to grow up in. And in the examples we try to set for them, you want them to be like, yo, my dad, entrepreneur, got it out the mud and now we have these businesses established. I want to take it to a different level.
Yeah.
Or just to be able to afford them an opportunity to live the actual life that they really want to live and be successful. Set a example for them to go off into whatever field they do, but to have ownership.
Yeah, because, man, me and the homie were just talking about this, bro. Like, we didn't have that classic college setting or what most middle class or, higher classes they do the college experience, they get connected, they utilize their degrees to get good jobs because of their parents
My
or
dad's
their
uncle,
grandparents.
my dad's friend owns this fucking company. He's going to give me a job over here and test me out, see if I'm...
Fraternities and sororities, making that network connection because your network is big, especially after college or especially after your higher education. Man, we had those fraternities, we had those networks in jail. in the streets.
Yeah, in
you
the
feel
hood.
me?
That was the fraternity, yeah.
Like that's
that's where we had to find them type of
that's where we had to.
That's
we had
where
to be
we had to
resourceful.
fucking develop them type of relationships
Exactly.
because they were not.
But we doing the same thing as white kids in college though. We trying to be resourceful. We over here trying to learn and shit like that.
The only thing is ours has a criminal element to it.
Exactly.
Well, it's because of the
to their
yeah, and it's because it's out of the dire situations we come from. Like we it's hard to worry about you know what I'm saying, school and other stuff when fucking the lights are out. You know, it's hard to fuck when there ain't nothing to eat, you know what I'm saying? And we could blame it on all that shit at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We don't have enough examples when we're young around us to make us be inspired. You know, we come from dire places. The people we looked up to were on drugs, and we're lucky that we had enough sense to look at them and be like, I don't want to be like y'all. You know what I mean? We had enough sense to eventually be like, okay, we played the street game and all that shit. We did that. What's next? You know what I mean? It's time to get something different now. Yeah. You gotta find a an avenue out. You know, they was even talking about, somebody was making a point, and it's like, you know, these guys that get successful and then they put themselves in street business. They put themselves in the streets, and the next thing you know, they're caught up for shit. You know what I'm saying? They're caught up for shit, and when they should have just stuck to the plan. You feel me? People might still be alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, on some real shit. When it comes to a point where you know you have to distance yourself from the streets and the street shit, then that's what it is.
That's what it is.
You know
Well,
I mean?
it's I think
you're always gonna have ties to people that are still affiliated.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
Yeah,
always gonna have ties to people that are still involved. You're always gonna have ties to people that are active.
And you're always gonna want to fucking give back.
Yeah, for sure. So.
But I think it's
you
like,
just gotta know. You know what I mean? It's just
once you move into a certain space,
right.
Once you move into a certain space, you gotta understand that this is what I'm doing right now. And it's like you said, once again, I'm leaving all the crazy shit, the crazy shit out there, because I know that if I score right, I could not only put myself in a better place where I don't have to do nothing stupid, but I could also help some people in return. I could reach back and be like, yo, show them a different way, get them on, build, establish shit. I'm the type of motherfucker, bro. I want to own buildings and apartments and stuff in the neighborhood I grew up with. Yep. Because I know those people and all that they've been through. And if I could find a way to help them, but without, you know, it's difference between helping them and just handouts. You feel me? If you help them, you could get them going, then you don't got to worry about a handout. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, and you got to help them out. I want to do a lot of shit. We talked about it before. Recreation center, shit that they don't have no more. That like, you wonder why they're not around out here no more.
Ain't none of that.
I mean, they got. I think they still got Ambrose in the West, but I don't even know how funded it is. I don't know how it's
They got
open.
the Boys and Girls Club too in Pittsburgh, but
they do. But
they trying to cut funding everywhere step of the way.
Everything.
A lot of those places, they only rely on government funding, like whatever they get in grants and shit and donations. So you know, like when I was young, we didn't have shit to go run to go do that. Where can we go play some fucking pool or hang out or do shit that normal kids do? We was in the hood. Oh, look, these motherfuckers driving by shooting and shit. Yeah. Even if we ain't involved, we sitting there watching this shit, and this is the kind of mentality we grow up with, and a lot of people out there do. So by you doing what you're doing, and just everybody like me, from our generation and the way they're coming into their own, and they're realizing that like, yo, there's a lot of stuff out there that we could have a stake in. Yeah. But you gotta find that way in. America's built on you gotta go out and get it yourself, and it's right there. The information's out there, but you gotta find it.
Yep. And that's exactly pretty much how Dope Flavors was founded. Like, it started from me advocating for social equity out in Pittsburgh, Antioch, and Contra Costa County. I got a little free scholarship to Amsterdam for the business aspect, like not for growing, but for like business, basic and advanced. And they taught us about advocacy. So it's like they have a social equity program in the state, but it's only if your city, you know, embraces it and wants to do social equity policy. And it's like, man, well, you know what? Let me bring it out here, because if I don't go through it on this, you know, have this type of path where it's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to have these advantages over like white corporate just having all the capital, all the resources, you know, having all these advantages for me not even be able to get in.
Yes. On top of that, they have momentum from years and years and years and years of running the game. So it's like...
So pretty much like my journey through advocacy, that's how I pretty much formed Dope Flavors. Like, you know what, the brand is what's going to last in the long run. Yeah. You know, let's you know,
people respond to that.
Exactly. Have some original, have some fresh aesthetic, you feel me? And you know, I just pretty much got like the black and white, you know, like skull and crossbones. It's kind of like a little calling to like where I'm from, Pittsburgh Pirates.
The flag.
You know, we come from the underground, we come from the underworld. It's like this, you know, traditionally it's called the black market. But if you go in the industry, they call it the traditional market. It's not called the black market. It's called the traditional market. So it's like, this is where we come from. This is where we derive from. This is where we learned it. You know, we was really ahead of our time as entrepreneurs, but we were demonized on it. You feel me? We went to jail for it. We've lost friends over it just because, you know, the money and the streets and everything. So that's kind of like the little philosophy, the ideology behind Dope Flavors. Like, this is where we come from. You know, we going to make our way up in here. We found on advocacy, and then, you know, we pushing social equity in our neck of the woods. But I learned social equity in Oakland, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, in Sacramento, because they have social equity programs and organizations that are so well funded. They got good community partners and good community leaders and people in politics trying to help them with their struggle, with their movement. That's dope. I try to bring it out to us. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Especially with gentrifications, you got all these people from San Francisco. You got them from Oakland, Richmond, everywhere on the peninsula, everywhere in like the cities of the Bay Area coming out this way. Yeah. It's like, we need these services, we need these programs, we need everything. We need everything entitled to us.
Yeah, because if not, they're gonna push you out. They're gonna push you away and push you out of every film.
Gentrification out here soon too. Yeah. Not that we ain't already, but you're gonna start seeing a lot.
The effects are there.
We seen it.
The effects are there. It just depends on where you live. You know what I mean? Because it's gentrification is always slow. You know what I mean? It ain't like overnight. It seems like overnight, like when you go to another city because you ain't been there in a while.
Look at West Boulevard.
That's what I'm saying. See how they cut it in half?
What you do is you knock down all that you can, you know, let them start up a little bit, change the street name, you know, give it a new image, give it a park, butter it up with the school, you know,
a nice school,
lay the landscape out, you know. So right now the only missing elements they have is knocking down the rest of the old housing, and they got them a whole new neighborhood, bro, a whole new community,
and it's gonna happen because
we
probably even with a gate. Who knows? Probably be a gated community. I don't know.
Might, bro.
You know what I mean? Like it's
that's how they make. That's how any way they could charge the most at the end game. At the end of the day.
Yeah, because these people are playing. You gotta understand that when it comes to situations like that, they're playing the long run,
raising the property value,
moving people out. Converting the new houses to low income houses, but now they get to pick who's in those low income houses.
They still got control.
They still have control. So now they get to pick. They're like, okay, well, we're gonna screen real well because we want to change the image and the uplook of this whole area. So we want to make sure that the people, you're still qualifying. You know, we not discriminate you. You're low income, but who are you?
Yep.
Now are we checking for felonies? Are we checking for background? How are we internally scrubbing everything out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So to make sure you can't get in.
That's why I be screaming the equity like so tough, because we already have like a disadvantage. You feel me? And like kind of equity in essence is pretty much somebody that's had it, that pretty much got it in a way that, you know, was like, whether it's unlawful or unethical. Pretty much, you know, like white corporate, you know, they taking it off the sweat and blood and struggle of our backs. And then, you know, we have to take back what's rightfully ours as well. And that's what equity is, distributing those resources, those monies, those powers equitably to the rest of the community. Yeah. So that's why I be on it, man, because we got to take back.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like now the cool thing about the pandemic, if we could even say that in a fucking sentence, the cool thing about the pandemic is I feel like people turned to their own kind in smaller businesses for things, goods and services, and
you had to turn your hustle up
for survival.
Yeah. Like for survival, because a lot of stuff that people were still doing, they weren't offering or they weren't allowed to, and people were selling it from home or just, you know, diving into their small business, legitimizing and doing things because they weren't available. You couldn't go who wants to stand in line for how long to go to the grocery store? Who wants to be like, oh, we can't even go inside Macy's or we can't go inside whatever. So a lot of people turn to their own. A lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses.
I was so happy to see that, bro, because I remember when everything first started getting slammed down, you couldn't get DoorDash after 4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to Parkside. I'm gonna go downtown somewhere, go get something to eat, go get a hot plate. Somebody serving it outside their house, their truck, or whatever it may be, bro.
The fucking everything they turned up, man, and rightfully so, because Same thing with like clothes and shit. Like the what's it calls are closed.
Created a lot of entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
A lot of entrepreneurs, because you know how it is with clothes. I like to order stuff online if I know the brand, because I know how it fit me, so I'm confident that I'm gonna get what I want.
For sure.
But when it comes to clothing shopping and stuff like that, people want to touch it. They want, what's it feel like? Oh, is this size? Does it run big? Does it run small? And doing clothing, I hear all that shit all the time. So, you know, the fact that these small businesses and these young entrepreneurs and stuff like that were out there, they were still providing the service that was missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were and people in return, like I said, it was just a lot more gratitude and more gracious to their fellow entrepreneurs. They were like, I'd rather get it from you. I'd rather come. You know what I'm saying? Come get this. I was heading tomorrow get a T-shirt and a hat anyway. So let me just go. You know what I mean? And likewise me, I was doing the same shit. Like, oh, I need a fit. Let me see who got what. And we go buy a couple T-shirts and some hats or something.
Taking negative situations and turning them positive, bro.
I think that's all I think all of us could say that's all we do. It's all we've been doing our whole damn life. So I'm very big on what you're saying. Me and Half, we have these conversations a lot. We conversate about this a lot on the podcast in previous episodes. I know we be with our shenanigans people and we talk kind of, about all kinds of shit. But in actuality, the essence of this podcast was to create a platform so that we could actually educate people on something.
Yep.
With entrepreneurs,
Get your sponge.
musicians, artists coming in here that is sharing their experiences with
game and life in general, man. You know what I mean? I mean, you sit around people that been through some stuff. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn some stuff when they open their mouth. Like,
and if you don't, bro, you lacking.
Yeah, like. You know what I mean?
I forgot.
It's rare that you get motherfuckers in a room that really want to talk like this. Like, I'm not a fucking talker. You don't get me around niggas and I'm like just a blabbermouth and I'm sitting here just spilling my guts to niggas.
Especially coming from
we
our
don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get us on a platform like this and you get to hear what really goes on in the brain and really goes on in the mind and the life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really goes on with the struggles, opportunities, motherfucking the ups and the downs, the trials and tribulations.
For sure.
Shit that you can learn and walk away with. You know what I mean?
And that's why I kind of wanted to piggyback on taking the negative into a positive, because that's another reason why I got dope flavors. Like, I remember in jail and in prison still hearing the police call marijuana dope. Like, oh, you got that dope on you? I was like, yeah, fuck, wait, what? It's like, this ain't no narcotic. It's an herb. This comes from the herb. But, we taking, like I said, we taking that negative, turn it into a positive. Dope flavors. The second definition of flavor is like, your own style. Like your own flavor, like what you come bring to the table, whether it's for the culture, whether it's to your group of peers, whether it's to the team, you doing it your way. Everybody's got their own special sauce. So like dope flavors, it's like boom, I got a dope flavor, I got a dope aroma, I got a dope style. This is how I really hit. This is how I hit public. This is what I do.
That's the keys. Like it's also cool. Like when you look at how people. The kind of thought process they put into what they do. Like you can tell, like we come in here and we talk about that with other people. Like, what was your thought process? How was you feeling about this, that, and the other? So to get that whole breakdown right there, it might go over people's heads, but it's realized it's branding.
Because people want to understand the whole meaning of it. They want to look beyond they want to see the concept beyond the image. They want to look at it and be able to say, okay, dope flavors.
Does it mean more?
You know what I mean? They want to read into it. You know what I mean? So.
And this is to encourage other people for their brands as well. It's like you should be thinking, you should be thinking more in depth like this. Give
Have
you some ideas,
you
give ideas to other people like that.
Yeah.
And it's, just take it to where you came from. Like, what did you experience? Like, how can you put your flavor on this? How can you put your, your spice on this?
Yeah. And it goes to a thing that I tell people all the time. So I'm going to ask you. I already asked you the last time I interviewed you, and it's a question. What do you think's more important, substance or style?
Shit. Substance or style? Give me a break. Like, what's the difference? Like in your definition?
Well, let's take music. We got the style, the real swaggy music, the real pop shit, the real. It doesn't really have maybe a message, so to speak, it's
like more material type style, and then substance being like your own style, like on the mic, like what you give,
substance
like lyrically.
Be like lyrically. Quality of sound and just overall your art. You know what I mean? Like some people they do
substance
music
gets into depth, opposed to style is just the surface.
On the surface. I got you.
And I think you can have
style
both.
is something style is something you could switch, you could change, you could fall out. You know what I mean? But substance is something that's always gonna be.
It's kind of like a person.
Bro,
you know,
I'll give you my piece on that, bro. if you got substance, if you got sustenance, then style's gonna come naturally. You know, whether it's on the outside.
Definitely.
Because look at me, bro. I'm in what a hoodie. I got some sweatpants and I got Crocs on. You know, I'm supporting my brand. I think I'm fresh.
Yeah.
You know, people.
It's a
This
state
is
of
I'm
mind.
comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and then people just want to be comfortable and it just look nice, bro. It's not you know. I know the media and you know the powers that be that run the show. They want you to worry about what
Your
you look
image,
like,
yeah.
what other people's, you know, worry about how you look like and whatnot, bro. And it's like, you know, you don't even gotta worry about all that. We got too much to worry about. We got so much shit going on that we trying to squeeze out the little bits that we can as far as with enjoyment and then, you know, just put that stress behind you and just move on in life and be human beings. So I feel like if you got what we squeezing out of that struggle, if you got substance, bro, the style's just gonna come right after, man.
Most definitely. It just to compare it to people, it's like, you know, you got superficial people and people that only care about certain things that are really not important or really not the building blocks or the fundamentals of what life is. And then you got people that are good, genuine people. They, you know what I mean, you know that you fuck with them on some kind of level.
What matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And they know because they're grounded in the right things.
Feel me? Their qualities, their morals, you know,
and
their values.
not to say none of us at any time some of us might be superficial at times. Some of us might be
we
vain
all indulge in vanity.
and it's
Bro,
hard to have an ego
But
because
all
we
indulge in
programmed
vanity,
and conditioned to be like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta
So, man,
automatically
you gotta
just,
try
all
to
indulge
detox
in
from that
vanity.
shit.
So don't take that personally when somebody's like extra this, extra that. You kind of got to go that little extra difference, especially with business relationships. You know, it's like that's what you really invest in because you want something longevity unless you just want something quick cash. But like legacy wise and going into the future and really just, you know, protecting your brand into the future, protecting your business, protecting yourself. You know, you just want to really invest in those type of positive relationships and really just like how you said, find those well-grounded people, gamed up
And have
people,
substance.
good
Let
values that got substance.
let egos drop
substance.
to the fucking side. 'Cause,
Yeah.
man,
You gotta have substance, bro, because when people deal with you, they're gonna be like, you know what, he's straight up about business. You know, he's about his word. He says that this is what he means.
He stands on it, yeah.
He stands on it. You know, like that. Having that substance will take you a long way in life, and your personal style is your style.
And
it's who
having
you
that
are.
good judge of character, bro.
for sure.
You have to, bro, because I mean, they, you know, that like they said, they smile in your face.
Because I mean, if the media and the multimedia is trying to teach everybody to be fake or putting out fake shit, then it's automatically fashioning and conditioning its viewers to do the same. You know, whether it's subliminal or, you know, on the back. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole propaganda of social media
there
these
you
days.
go.
Though, you know
the
what I mean?
misinformation.
There you go.
As much as we live in the
Hey,
age of
what's so
information.
funny is fact checkers will put up that little print, the little fine print of misinformation leader, but it'd be some real shit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
bro, what I don't get that. Like,
It's
how
'cause-
can they be so far off to where they don't see that shit? Like, some of the shit is like.
It's
The
not that
shit
they
that
don't
they be-
see it. We also, I think, when it comes to social media and stuff like that, we also have to understand that we're not dealing with exactly with humans.
No,
we're dealing
true.
with humans
True,
that
true.
program something to try to think like
Yeah.
humans.
Artificial intelligence.
So you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's trying to guess what we like. We were talking about it earlier. It's like
So
it's like you are what you
that's why there's
search and what you watch
algorithms
on
and
Instagram.
fucking-
So if you watch a lot of something, or if you show like because you know you'll look at a couple videos about fucking cooking steaks, and then next thing you know. You got a million videos about cooking steaks.
On your feed.
And then next thing you know, you got videos about niggas choking on steak and dying, or you got niggas obese videos. You feel what I'm saying? Like the algorithm is trying to think for you, and it's trying to think of all possibilities, not just one.
Yep. At the end of the day,
You know what I'm saying?
they looking for the win. They
it-
looking for that win. What's gonna win?
Keep
What's
you
gonna
on the
what's gonna
platform.
keep you on the platform? But that's the same thing. Oh, excuse me. That's the same thing with government. That's the same thing with law enforcement, especially now in the age of technology getting better. They're looking for the wins. They're looking for the statistics. Like when you go into the courtroom against a district attorney, they're looking to bury you the majority of the time because
Instead of
they
do
want
justice, real
Because
justice.
exactly because they want that win, they want that paycheck, they want that
statistics.
bonus, and they want
It's
that
all about
promotion
the
at the end of the
statistics.
day.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the
also
resume.
to preserve that status quo.
That movie Law Abiding Citizen, that shit's real.
So that's you could apply that with everything else when it comes to government and things like that too, bro. Like they just want to. That's what they want, all because of the money at the end of the day, and that's what
it's all the money.
and that's what the technology is going to do. It's going to help them with their margins. You feel me? And I just kind of want to brush up on it because they're starting to apply that to law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? With they have algorithms, just whether it's looking at cameras. You know, a lot of people got cameras in their neighborhoods nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's like they're having this algorithm or this machine tell them everything that has to go on within this neighborhood. So it automatically negatively attracts law enforcement presences. Like you get like why can't you give its citizens the benefit of the doubt, whether just going and just listening to this machine telling you how to patrol crime in the neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? And that's why they stay the way they do, because the algorithm learns from the past and applies it to the present just for the win at the end of the day, not knowing like the deep demographics within the community, within the people who live there, and what they've been through in the past.
And the negativity that it breeds, so then it just keeps you in that perpetual cycle of, oh, this is a bad neighborhood. Police got to be here. Now
but
we're looking at the citizens
all
extra
this
hard.
is new.
The heightened sense of
all this is new, so they don't know
stress.
about
It
these
creates
negativities as well.
PTSD within the neighborhoods and the communities of the fucking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. And just to piggyback on that, and to go back on the topic we was talking about when you said you first got locked up for, the first thing I got incarcerated for, I got caught with 5 little bags of Bammer at school.
Yeah.
I was 15 years old. You're out because it's your juvenile, but you're going to court for this shit. At around 15 and a half, 16 years old, something like that, I was incarcerated for this. I did 6 months in Juvenile Hall. And from that point up until 2012, I never stayed out of jail or prison for more than a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a cycle. Like I was learning as well because I was detoxing, because it was always like out for like a year, locked up for a year, 8 months, do a county year, Juvenile Hall a couple of times with gaps in between, right? Little small gaps in between of being incarcerated. And then my first time going to prison, I came home. I stayed out 3 years, longest I ever been out in my life, 3 years consecutive. Caught a case, went back to prison.
Yeah.
Then I came home, 2012, been home ever since. Praise God,
yes,
you
sir.
feel me? And
Shiny.
that's just to show you the example of how these harsh laws and how the inequity and everything that how things were, because your boy got locked up for 5 bags of weed, and ever since that I could not shake the system.
Yep.
I could not shake the system. And it wasn't like I was always fucking up. There was times that I came home. I remember I came home, got a job, tried to do right.
The vicious cycle,
and just
bro.
being where I lived was enough to send me back.
Cycle.
Exactly.
It's crazy because the same shit with me.
We
The
live
same
in
exact shit.
living proofs that
You know what I mean?
the school to prison pipeline
Yep.
works, you know, and that it feeds all these industries and corporations in between time, as long as we get them early enough at an age in the system.
Yep.
And then just keep going back and forth like a revolving door until they're 18 or until they could get out of it. It's not even until they could be successful going through a program or going through probation or parole. It's like, can they even get it out of that?
Yeah.
You know, without providing the resources or the help that they need in order to be
It's
successful.
literally legitimate.
They got money
slavery.
out of my ass.
Yeah,
Like, I
slavery
went
for
to-
sure.
It's legitimate slavery, but it's the new.
They
the new
got
form,
money.
you know what I mean?
Juvenile. I know they get more
Rebranded.
money out of the juveniles, I believe.
Yeah, for sure they do.
Yeah,
I know. I went to Juvenile Hall 18 times on 22 arrests.
Yeah.
So they got some money out of me.
Oh, they got money out of you because
Hey, and then when I got 18, my mom got a fat ass bill.
But you know, they applying the same type of thinking
fucked up, by
and
the
thought to like borrowers. You know, most people like us or have some type of decent credit. We got some type of credit card. So now they have you documented as borrowers, and they could literally fine farm you. Like, if you don't pay us, we're gonna garnish this. We're gonna take this back. And then, you know, that's a form of plundering.
Yeah.
So if they're applying those type of tactics that they do to people with the school to prison pipeline, and they apply it to, you know, your financials now, your public financial, you know, just from borrowing some money, which everybody does, it's like that's another form of control.
Yeah.
And especially now, if you over here taking loans at a young age, right when you turn 18, going to college, now you in the system already. It's like that's your first time in Juvenile Hall. Oh, this is your first time doing a major borrow because you want to further your higher education and get a better job at the end of the day. But look what all that entails at the end of the road.
what comes with it, the amount.
And this is your interest rate of what you're going to be paying every year, and this is when you're projected to pay it off by. And
Projected.
Oh, hold on, yeah, this is not only that, but you might have to take these other classes and other courses as a prereq just to get that. So you might have to take out another loan,
Or COVID hits and you can't find a job.
or COVID
To
hits
pay
and you
off
get-
those lines.
and you get lucky and they wipe away your student debt for $10,000 worth if you don't know much, but I know they did that for.
Yeah,
for a few people.
And like I said, it's not it's the limitness, the limited opportunities and the way they structured the whole situation, the game, and anything, any kind of big, when you're dealing with big money, it's like that. It's gonna be like that. They're gonna make obstacles. They're gonna make it a way because you are their resource basically. By having you locked up in the prison, the school to prison pipeline or whatever, you know what I mean. They have you now. Now you're a resource. Now there's ways for them to make money off you physically, and to also keep you from bettering your life so that you continue on this cycle and they get a whole life run. I know. I can't even call them career criminals. I know cats that are just in and out of jail all the time, can't stay out of jail. They're not career criminals. They just can't catch a break. And when they do catch a break, they're so fucking demoralized and so fucking institutionalized that they feel wrong for doing right.
That's called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That's what that's called. That's a real thing, especially when it comes to formerly incarcerated folk. But at the same time, it's like, you are or you're a part of being a cash flowing asset. So of course they want you to keep coming back. Of course they're gonna make these hoops and hurdles, to make it difficult because at the end of the day, you're part of the complex.
There's no rehabilitation. You know what I mean? It's habilitation.
Not.
You know what I mean?
That's it. They enable you. They enable you in a lot of ways, and we're not here to make excuses because everybody got their own brain, everybody got their own choice. But we'd be fools to act like there is not more odds, and the everything is skewed against you. They're skewed in for the other way, not for you. You know what I'm saying? Because the way situations are set up. Like I said, bro. Do you really think Jiminy John or fucking Cracker Jack got caught with 5 bags of Bammer at school and they would have put his ass in Juvenile Hall? Hell
fuck
fucking
no.
no.
They didn't even call the cops. He went to detention.
Exactly.
He got detention and they called his mom and they
pulled
told
the parents
his dad
aside. And had a talk with him. Get him in some treatment.
Yeah, they had a parent-teacher conference and that was it.
That was it.
If they might get treatment. They just
a direct phone call or a direct meeting. Like they get the privilege and the luxury.
His parents said not to smoke at school. That's it.
That's it. Not knowing he stole it from his dad and shit. You know what I mean? So that's neither here nor there. We're not here to make excuses for nobody. The purpose of this podcast and what we talk about, everything we're bringing to you guys on the table is to ensure that you guys have privy to these kind of conversations, so you know that this type of stuff exists. Because a lot of stuff is out of sight, out of mind for people out there. If they don't feel like they've seen it or seen somebody directly that's benefited from them from situations and stuff like this, then they don't really think it exists. You got a lot of people that see people that grew up, that look at how we grew up, and they're older now, and they watch us grow up, and they, we're out in the streets and doing whatever the fuck we was doing, and they look at us like, they don't look at us the same. They look at us like we fucking crazy.
Yeah, but I think that's why we learned a lot from like George Floyd, bro. Like they opened up a lot of eyes and ears, especially when it came to systematic racism, how it plays into our institution, especially like the criminal justice system. Because now a lot of people are more aware.
What we're seeing now, though, we're seeing cops actually being charged. Like,
it was a turning point.
Like, what was the cop just recently got charged for the murder?
There's a bunch of them.
Just recently got charged for the murder. I
know a sheriff shot somebody in a wheelchair 9 times going into a Lowe's or something.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
So it's like, this day and age of going viral is like we could hold law enforcement and our public officials more accountable. But R.I.P. to George Floyd, that whole situation. But if it wasn't for that, I think we would still kind of be in the dark still, like especially white privilege still more in the dark. And that's kind of like where I'm more getting at, because
the Breonna Taylor thing happened before George Floyd, right?
Yeah.
I think George Floyd was the breaking point, but there was a couple
brought light to
that. Things, because there was a lot of things that were tumbling into that. It was like you could already see it spiraling, and more shit was going viral.
Tamir Rice, all of them were killed before him. All these,
and then George Floyd was just like, I think because of the way they seen it, you actually seen him die slowly.
All of them were, Eric Garner, all of them were killed before George Floyd.
It was just another way, like, because like you said, these cameras is different. You hear about somebody getting killed or something, you just it's a little bit more. It hits different than it does when you see somebody and you see what's happening, and they could very well have easily avoided that, and it will bring that rage. It'll bring that awareness, but after that, it has to be a plan of action. It has to be something you do to go benefit from from the chaos, not benefit from it, but make something happen beneficial for everyone.
It's up to us to keep the flame lit, to keep the awareness going, to keep fighting, you know, that trench warfare, to, you know, to make sure social justice and equal justice is served. And going into the future, deconstruction and breaking down all this systematic racism or whatever's embedded into our institutions,
breaking down the whole previous fucking
the status quo, and really just start, like I said, taking that equity back. And then that's kind of like how I try to, you know, I've studied revolutionaries in prison, in jail, bro. I read a whole bunch of books. And, you know, what we're doing right now, I consider as revolutionary. We're providing a platform. We're providing game for other people to listen to take heed, to practice, to get ideas, to apply.
Planting the seed to spark the fire right now, man. People you can
and
take heed or
living in
just...
the age of disinformation, I kind of like the fact that the podcasts are kind of that wave, because once again, you're hearing it from, it's different when you got the, hey, I'm the radio guy on the fly, you know what I'm saying, doing it in your eye and all that shit, as opposed to hearing somebody like me and you, regular people, us, talking about some real life shit that we've been through.
That are people that are actually sincere about this.
Sincere about that, and actually been through it, and giving you the real perspective directly, unfiltered, directly from the source. You know, nowadays you go, depending on where you get your media from, it's going to be spun a certain way no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. Now, we're not here to spin, but we have our perspective.
For sure.
And you know, our perspective aligns with a lot of people's out there. Either they're in the quest for trying to get more knowledge in the field that they're doing, whatever it is. Because, you know, there's so many podcasts, so whatever our flavor is what people want. But I'm trying to give them the good and the bad. You feel me? You know, explain the bad, show them the good, and hopefully people make a wise decision. I do a PSA, and it's all fucking common sense. And it's one of my most popular fucking posts when I do them, the PSA. And the PSA really just be some shit, some knowledge, some game that your mom, your dad, your uncle should have gave you, but we understand over here that a lot of us didn't have that. So where do we learn? We learn from OGs. Like I said, my OGs, a lot of them were on drugs. Yeah. So I didn't me being observant enough to know that, we didn't get
them words of wisdom from our OGs. We
got the
guidance.
Not to do.
We got the guidance. You know what I mean?
Trial
we seen
error.
the shit. You know what I mean? We seen firsthand of what's gonna fuck us over. What's gonna put us ahead. We seen the niggas balling. We seen the niggas getting it. We seen the dope fiends. We seen the niggas down bad. You know what I mean? So this is firsthand experience and shit. It's not something that people were telling us. Hey, one day you could be like that. Yeah. One day you might do that. One day you know what I mean? That's not the shit we was listening to, because we was so focused on seeing this shit. You know what I mean?
We're immersed in it.
Learning from our mistakes.
Yeah, and we're learning. Yeah,
that's
exactly. Being hard-headed,
trying to get it.
The you know, the cutthroat mentality, because the OGs was on drugs and they was out there doing and wilding and doing crazy shit. That was kind of like when if you're lucky enough and you're observant enough to catch it.
Computer crash, Brody?
Nah, we good.
Okay.
That's just the screensaver. It's telling us we've been rocking for a minute. But you know, just to
keeping it lit.
Yeah, you feel me? We deep too. We moving. This shit don't even feel like an hour, but we've been on for an hour.
We shooting the shit.
But yeah, but just knowing to be observant enough at a young age to be able to see that, like, because I for every one of us, there's also that example of somebody that, you know, seen it, grew up, been all around it, and still fell to it. You know what I mean? I know cats I grew up with, been knowing like 20, 25 years. I look at them now, they're on the streets. You know, and even if I wanted to help them, they wouldn't help them.
We know people that seen it, been around it, and didn't have to touch it. You know what I mean? Seen it, been around it, lived it, and didn't really have to experience it. They just chose it. Just, you know what I mean?
They chose it, yeah.
Self-control, man. I forgot who said it, but the best power to have, the most powerful power to have, is the power of self-control. You got self-discipline. You can tell yourself, you know, the only person that can really whoop you at the end of the day is yourself. So if you could check yourself, then that will just eliminate a whole bunch of obstacles. And then being consistent.
One of the hardest probably things to do, but one of the most important things to do, because once you got it, you're able to master that, because it is a skill of self-discipline, because you have to want to do it, but you have to apply it. You know what I mean?
It takes hella practice,
and it does. And by doing that those type of things, you are able to use your focus. You know what I mean? Make your focus. You're able to concentrate your focus on things, and you're able to
Without
use it.
getting
It's a
distracted.
power. Exactly,
And
it's a
I
power.
believe
It's
by
like a real
doing
secret.
that, bro, you create so much more peace and happiness in your life, bro.
Balance. Like today when
Like,
we
on
went,
some real shit,
you know,
like-
I'm not a real religious person.
I'm Muslim, bro.
He's
so
Muslim,
I'm in a-
but they had a rosary, not a rosary, but they had a Sunday mass in honor of one of our friends that recently passed away.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm in there listening to the thing, and I'm spiritual, and I see all religions. I see the abuse in the religions, and I also see the sincerity from the actual people. And then I also try to analyze the message, and a lot of the messages are similar, if not the same.
You got it in all
right?
religions.
Today, the message that I'm sure you didn't understand it because this is all in Spanish, by the way. So he in there like I know you just in there,
But he feeling it though. He feeling it.
because he's a spiritual person and he know, right? So we in there, and the sermon's about balance. It's about preparing yourself for the coming year. You know, and right now to bring some sort of balance to yourself so that in the coming year, who knows what kind of obstacles might lie ahead. But when you have balance and you're in tune with the spirits, you know what I'm saying? In this case, he's talking about God and Jesus, you know, you'll be able to face these things head on with a lot more peace.
Better equipped.
Exactly. You're better equipped to deal with the shit because the obstacles are out there. No matter what, the spears are out there ready to poke us, right?
It just all depends on how many are going to be put in your way. You know
Exactly.
what
So if you're at peace if you're at peace in house within yourself, then nothing outside. That's why they say the whole no weapon formed against me can prosper. Because if I'm at peace, peace with myself and peace with God, then what can really hurt me out here? I know I have the self-discipline to not fall into this. I have the belief in the spirituality and in the faith to be able to endure when shit does get bad and it affects me and it touches me. You dig what I'm saying? So it's weird that we talking about that. And I like how a lot of things coincide, and when we come do these podcasts, conversations like this pop off, and it's always something like, oh, we were just talking about how you're saying we were just talking about that. We were literally just talking about this the other fucking day too.
And you know what? And that's something I learned to be more spiritual when I was locked up. You know, read a whole bunch of like health books and spiritual health books, different religious books. So I co-own with my girl Moon of Abundance, which is a spiritual healing store. We started off online. We sell rocks and stones, you know, abalone shell. We got candles right now. We just dropped a candle line, and it's really the key point of the website is education, because I read up blogs and I pretty much explaining things, you know, what this stone is good for, what this crystal does, you know, the kind of like pretty much knowledge that's been recorded ever since like ancient times, and that indigenous people especially still follow and still believe in when it comes to herbs or oils or things like that, when it all surrounding energy.
Everything.
So I'm glad we did touch up on that, man, because that's a big part of me right now as far as doing you know, not only with cannabis but also different parts of healing as well.
To go back to what we were saying, that brings and how that coincides with what we were talking about earlier. It's called the substance. You guys could just make a store if you wanted to. You could just have this stuff for sale. Take it, here you go. But you're offering the education that goes along with it. You're showing people how to use it properly,
right
educate, giving them the game that goes along with it, so they're just not out there not knowing what they're doing, or if they're not placing it or doing it the right way.
Yeah, because that's real shit.
You got the style because you guys know what it is that you're trying to, the message you're trying to convey, and you got the substance because you're giving them the meat and potatoes of the actual business that you're doing. You're not just selling the stones, you're giving them the game with it.
Yeah, we want our customers, we want our family to friends to be successful when it comes to their spiritual journey, when it comes to, you know, utilizing these tools or live specimens, how they call it when we have to import them into the country. These are live specimens. That's what the government, that's what was it? Customs considers them. They're live specimens. So if it's just a rock, you know, why is it classified like this? You know, what type of energy is in this? What is it?
What do they know that the masses don't know?
You know what I mean?
That's been saying for thousands of years. Yeah. So I really got into that as far as like a spiritual journey and awakening when, you know, I was locked up, and just, you know, just keep educating myself on that, man, because there's a lot that goes into it.
And see, and think about the shit that you endure when you're in jail. Think about the shit that you endure, right? And that's why a lot of people become more spiritual, because they need to find some kind of peace. Even in the mouth of madness and in the belly of the beast, you got to find some kind of peace to center yourself so you can endure more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's kind of a fundamental of a lot of religions. You know what I'm saying? Is finding that peace with God or finding that peace within yourself, because in this world you're gonna endure a lot.
Mental and physical health is one thing, but spiritual health is
For sure.
It's a whole
you
other
need
thing.
you need that
to-
trinity, bro.
The energy that brings is, if the energy from your spirituality is off, bro, there's no way that you can even be anything, bro. I felt it.
You can feel the tension.
I felt
you can
it.
feel
know
the
what I mean?
negative.
I know for
too.
a fact, because that's what drove me to Islam, bro. I felt it. I was like, you know what I mean? I could feel myself slipping from myself.
Yeah.
I could feel the unhappiness. I could feel me not knowing exactly what I want. I could feel me
not
like
feeling like yourself, like
not feeling like myself, not feeling like I'm actually being a appreciating person towards what I should be appreciative towards. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I wasn't. You know what I mean?
because you were enduring a lot.
That's a calling.
You were enduring a lot, bro, and you know when that's, you know, the literal fucking meaning of faith. You reach for something higher. You believe in something that you can't really see, because you know that's what gives you that peace and that strength to be able to endure this shit. Because life's fucked up.
Yeah.
We think we could all say that. It's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of beautiful in life, but it's also, there's a lot of foul. And I think once you get to a certain point in your life and your
like
spiritual journey,
you make your beauty and you make your, you know what I mean?
and you embrace it all.
And you make your misery.
When you start seeing things on a higher level, you embrace the good and the bad, and you understand. You stop asking yourself, why is this happening, or why do these things happen, and you start understanding that this is gonna happen. This is life. Shit is gonna happen.
Yeah, you learn lessons instead of losses, bro.
Exactly.
That's
And that,
how
I think,
see it.
like how you said, that's how you start showing that you appreciate more, is because you start having that understanding and start trying to understand and get on people's, like how you said, like somebody acting kind of wild and crazy. I'm gonna try to understand you, and I'm gonna try to remove myself if I know that you're probably the kind of person that I'm gonna be at odds with. So I'm gonna do the smart thing and give you space.
Your foresight is, it's important.
And it's all about being in tune with yourself and understanding yourself and knowing what you are, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, what you like and don't like, and understanding other people. Everybody's not going to be on the same journey or the same pace as you. So while you're growing, it's not that you're growing apart from other people. You're just in a different point in your evolution. You know, and those other people may not even ever get to that point, because they may not ever open their eyes big enough to see everything in totality.
Their goals might not nowhere be near as what your goals are. You know what I mean? Your goals out trump what they even have vision for themselves.
Exactly.
So they can't even fucking, you know what I mean?
They can't fathom the idea that they could.
You know what I mean? So it's just you on some other shit to them. You know what I mean?
And to me, bro, like I've always tried to use this platform for education. I have people that are financial advisors come in here, obviously cannabis entrepreneurs, aspiring and up and coming entrepreneurs and artists and stuff like that. Because another thing, when we were coming up and we were recording, like we said, back to the OG shit, nobody in the rap that was rapping really wanted to show us anything. They didn't want to tell us where the studio was at. We want to pay for the studio. We don't want free studio. We never wanted anything free from anybody. But we never could get, having conversations with people, we could never get the things that we were looking for. Like, where'd you go do that? Oh, my partner does this shit. I let him do it. It's like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? So it forced us, you know, to be... what do you call it? It forced us to have to be self-reliant, bro, and go out and find it on our own somehow.
Take matters in your own hands. Self-educate yourself.
And I knew then that I wasn't gonna be like that, because I do a lot of consultation with people too. I consult people on how to get their music going.
How
you know, because a lot of people are aspiring rappers, but they don't know the technical side. They don't know how to get their accounts in order and shit like that.
All the back end stuff.
All the stuff that's really important nowadays. Before, maybe you could even now still find somebody that'll do all that stuff for you, and that's good if you got that. But if you don't, and you're trying to get in, it could seem helpless. You know what I'm saying? It could seem hopeless. You know, you'd be like, fuck, man, I don't even know where to start. I got big ambitions and big dreams, but, you know, I look up some YouTube shit. I don't really relate to that, or they don't break it down, because the only hard thing about YouTube is that even though we're in the age of information, you look something up, you got questions. You got to be interactive. Like, you got to have somebody that's going to, like, the little nuances, the shit that they want, that you don't really get from the video because it's just laid out.
A lot of people need hands-on learning, man. And that's where the trial and error comes in. YouTube is a great tool. Yeah. I learned everything on YouTube. Google, I'm asking them for everything. And then
getting specific.
If I'm in a certain field, or I'm in a certain, like, wherever I'm at, I for sure try to gravitate toward, like, mentors. And you know what I'm saying?
People in
somebody
that
I
field.
could learn from and really just create that type of relationship with, bro. And, you know, it's beneficial. It's like, you know, you a solid dude, you a solid character, and it's like, you know, you guys could learn from each other. You know, you never know at the end of the day.
I feel like that's one thing I like to do too. When it comes to stuff like that, I really like to put the right people in the right room under the right circumstances, because I know a lot of good things can happen from that. So doing all this stuff, the consultation, and just understanding that I didn't have these certain things. I didn't have a platform that I could go exactly search up everything I wanted, or whatever the case, or something that interests me enough to keep me, because you know you can't just be too educational to with people. Some people, in order to educate them, you gotta kind of lure them in. You know, you gotta understand, let them understand that you're on their level, because a lot of people don't like being preached to or talked down to, or feeling like they're talked down to, because that's really not what most of the time we're trying to do. But yeah, man, what you got on the eve right now? What's Dope Flavors doing right now? What they working on?
Right now, we just got licensed.
Congratulations, by the way.
I appreciate that, man.
So,
that's big for all y'all that don't know.
We moving under 7th Wave LLC, the distro manufacturer and delivery license we're working under. They're pretty much letting us do our thing, man. You know, we have our own brand, we have our own ideas, and they're really just, you know, it's a really good partnership, bro. Like, we're really working hand in hand.
That's dope.
Like, you know, compared to other people where, you know, a lot of people are limited, you know, especially in this game, or to where, you know, trying to get your brand on a recreational market that's so dominated by like corporations, or like, you know, suit and tie people that aren't really from the culture. So when you're partnering with somebody that's Latino, equity, you know, been there through the struggle, family's been there through the struggle, you know, passed down
what you were going to be facing.
So like I said, I'm gravitating, you know, I not only want a business partner, I want a mentor. So I'm learning shit from the game too, as I'm going into the game. So man, we're really blessed for that. And then Dope Flavors right now, we're hoping for pretty much 2022 is going to be our year. But if we could launch something on shelves before that, that'd be dope. But we taking our time. You know, like I said, we were sampling a whole bunch of concentrates over the weekend.
I know, right?
So definitely look out for concentrates, look out for pre-rolls, look out for flour.
Don't really feel like work though, did it?
No,
it feel like work?
Man, you know what? Every time, I ain't gonna lie.
Did it feel like research?
It is feeling like research, and I'm starting to like it, man. Like, you know, this is the one. I could do this for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I could really just, you know that I'm giving our customers, our followers, our, you know, our family and friends, you know, something of quality. Something that they're really going to look forward to every time they go into the store. You know, we're not just going to put our stamp on anything. So yeah, definitely blessed for that, bro. And definitely look out for us at shelves, whether it be at the end of the year, but 2022 for sure.
It hits different when somebody that actually knows the product, the culture, the high. It hits different when they tell you this is the shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? This is it right here. Like that hits different. Like you said, suit and tie, motherfucker. What you gonna tell me, bro? You smoking booth right now, probably.
Yeah, you've never smoked this or
had
any
bullshit
in your life.
You never tacked out a whole zip, nigga, 20 blunts inside a room and had somebody almost pass out
in a 2-door coupe.
Exactly. So you lived that life. If you didn't come up in the era smoking that brick pack shit, I don't want to hear it. Shout out to all the people that, you know what I'm saying, used to use the top of the used to use the top of a shoebox to separate all the seeds from the fucking bud and the shake and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know about that.
Using the shoebox to cure your flour after trimming that thing down.
Come on, man. And see, you know what? We're not even gonna date ourselves like that, man. Y'all know it. Just know that we've been doing this, man.
For sure.
What's it called?
But yeah, bro, definitely expect big things out of us. Hopefully by the end of the year, for sure, 2022. Like I said, we're trying to partner with consumption lounges. We're trying to get artists. We're trying to get DJs in there, sponsor events. Really just, you know, I don't know if I'm really supposed to be saying this, but I will say this, though, that, you know, as far as like events, like major events that are pretty much approved for cannabis licenses and have consumption lounges in these events.
420 friendly for all y'all that don't know.
San Francisco, Humboldt, Oakland, LA. You could best believe, you're going to find us vending there.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Because you guys already be around everywhere. I see you all the time. LA, up and back and forth.
For sure.
The street team is real. Dope Flavors street team. If
Shout
you're
out
listening
the
to
team,
this,
bro.
I guarantee at least 5 people that are listening to this have either tried products, senior products, merch, all that kinds of stuff. So shout out to all the people out there, all the listeners, because we all from the same area. So that's one thing we all share in common is that community. You know what I mean? And a lot of the people that support us all, like in whatever it is that we got going on. So shout out to the whole nine and everybody out here that really showed the love. Man, I'm looking forward to what you got going on, bro. Can we talk about the project though, or
Yeah, we can talk about.
Okay,
it.
So I don't want to give up nothing too soon, so I gotta. That's why I asked you earlier.
It's good. It's good.
It's like I was like, can we talk about stuff, or what? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. Music is a big thing to me, and music is very heavy in the cannabis industry, so it's only appropriate, it's only right that we drop, a music project along with, dropping cannabis in stores. So, man, I'm a big fan of all my people, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of all local artists, the people I fuck with. I know what everybody else sound like, but let's put, everybody around me, bro. Let's put them on a project. Let's get it out there. Is it going to be successful? Is it going to hit? It don't matter. We just going to do it, man.
Some groovy tunes for you to smoke, too. And kudos to you for that, because you know what, though? Just like how you're doing the equity, it's the same thing, man. You're in a position to where you got your platform. You're doing great things in the cannabis industry, and you said music and marijuana go hand in hand. You dig? So it's totally right, man. To give people a sample of that, you know what I mean, and to like I said, by you doing that, bro, you're sharing your platform. You know what I mean? You're creating new avenues for other people. You know what I mean? And bro, like, you can't ask for more than that than anything else from somebody. You know what I mean? They reach back, they do what they do, and they spread the word, man. And that's how it should be with everything. Like, the mentality out there should never be hating or any kind of negativity towards another man. You know what I'm saying? Towards somebody out there that's doing what they're doing. You should always try to understand and support the real more than anything. You dig what I'm saying? Support the real, whoever it is that's out there doing what they do. You got to support that, man, and I'm definitely looking forward to the project. I'm looking forward to all the stuff you got going on. I know you're all around everywhere. We got to talk off camera about some stuff. Yep. So I got some stuff I want to shoot your way, and you tell me what you think. Yeah. Because at the moment, I am really getting my motherfucking screenwriting and fucking.
That's right.
How I'm in my bag right now when it comes to that shit, right? So.
That takes time. That takes a lot of thought. That's what's up. Congrats.
And I want to, I'm always, it's all about the content nowadays.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing. The social media, the internet, these platforms, YouTube. We got to have the equity too in those spaces as well.
For sure.
For a minute there, how they were talking about how TikTok was acting wild with the content, with black content and Latino content creators, and they weren't getting as much traffic. For sure. For whatever reasons, I didn't even fucking bother read it. I was like, I ain't surprised. It's just another form of racism. Mm-hmm. But look, man, where can they find you, bro? Where can they find you? Where can they, get down with the movement?
Right now, we on social media. We heavy on IG, _D_ flavors, dope _ flavors, dope flavors LA, dope flavors 925. We're mainly on our social media platforms right now. Be on the lookout for Dope Flavors TV. We finna be on YouTube.
That's right.
Like I said, the Dope Flavors music project. Best believe we got Half It Blaze gonna be on that project. That's for sure. For sure. Produced by Fingers.
We'll get it done. We're gonna get it done. We had a little mishap, but we're gonna get it done.
Man, we just pushing forward, putting in that work, man. And like I said, at end of the year 2022.
So we're gonna be looking out for you, bro. We're gonna be out there, awaiting the arrival, man. And we appreciate you coming out. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out the team. Shout out you guys for sharing the platform, bro. We doing revolutionary things, bro. We revolutionary as far as what we doing here, what we doing for the people, what we doing for the the legacy, coming in from behind us. And then bro. I really appreciate that. Shout out to my team for sure.
For sure. Half, what's up, man? Where can they find you at, bro?
Man, y'all can find me on Instagram, OBB _HALF. Y'all know the 182A joint out right now. Make sure you go listen to that. Go feel that one time.
Google your name, OBB Half. You find all his
stuff.
Yeah,
you got an OBB Half me. Don't look up Half no more. You ain't gonna find
me. One thing is,
I had some people hitting me like, bro, I can't find your CD. I'm like, nigga, because you're not looking at the OBB. That's my artist name.
Yeah, so and see, the thing is, this age we live in, there's so much shit now. It's like, even me, I'm like, bro, I knew there was hella blazes, but I didn't realize how hard my name was gonna make it for
I
people
want
to
to talk
find
to
me
you. I want to
directly.
say something to you after when the mics are off.
Who owns what domain names,
Exactly.
things like that to put on the internet. Yep.
Yeah,
There's a
so I
lot
had
going
to
on.
flip it. I had to change my name. So everything, you know, I didn't start from square one, but I snatched all my shit off because then now I re-put all my music out, and it's all falling under the same name. So there's no mistaking. There ain't no other Blaze, One Diz,
right.
nothing like that. So I mean, you know, the marketing, the way things are, is crazy nowadays. I want to say thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for sharing some wisdom with people. You know what I mean?
For sure.
We're all for it all the time. The door's always open for you. The next time that you got something you got going on, you want to market, push, promote, or if you just want to come sit down and have a conversation with us, because since this is our first podcast, I really just wanted to conversate. But we do topics and current events and shit like that. We give our little spiel, and we have like another co-host named Ann. She's fucking hilarious.
For sure.
And sometimes we'll get.
We talked about
Patty.
a whole bunch of stuff on this one here, so you can have me down.
This one you had to have your squeegee and your sponge for this one. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here was definitely for the people. It was definitely educational. But you guys could go ahead and find us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast. You could also follow us or subscribe to our YouTube channel at RiBirth Media Films. That's RiBirth Media Films with a Z. Go on there, subscribe, you know, rate us, slander us in the comments. I don't give a fuck. Do what you gotta do. Just make sure if you're gonna speak on me, just don't lie on me. You know what I'm saying? don't say no shit that ain't the truth. You know, when you talk about me, talk about the real me. You feel me? Yeah. And then also, you know, you can find us on all podcasting platforms at No Invite Podcast. So you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you stream, iHeart Radio, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts we are there. And if not, request us. If you are on there, and write a review, hit that 5 stars, the 1 star, whatever it is. It helps push us on the rankings. If you're a hater and you're listening to this and you're going to probably do the opposite, you can suck a dick. Because if you listen to a whole hour of a podcast and you hate, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? But we
get your sponge. Get the sponge.
Man, it's okay, bro. It's okay. If you learn some shit from here, I'm talking for the haters, by the way. All my people that love it, you already know. But for the hater, if you listen to this whole podcast this long, and you talking about you ain't got a sponge or nothing, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Once again, there's a reason why you're at where you're at. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. Like I said, No Invite Podcast, we out.
Please hang up and try again.